let us commence with the stream. All right. Well, everyone, welcome. I just got off of a sort of Adobe Express overview. It's like kind of like a quick start, getting started with Express thing for Adobe and EdgeGain, and now I'm jumping into this. So yeah, and I am going to be changing my streaming time. So I'm working with with somebody who can do that, help me do that. I know I've mentioned it a couple of weeks now, but we do have traction now to make a change. So it's going to be, I'll be streaming Wednesdays after today. So Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Pacific. And I think I've, on my page on Behance, it already lists it as that. But the Adobe for Education schedule still lists this time, so I am here. So let's see. Yeah, so Adobe has updated Illustrator with some generative AI, some Firefly stuff today. And this is the new version right here. If you don't see it, of course, you can always go into your Creative Cloud application and check for updates, right? And see what comes down. I've already updated this morning. You can see updated today. We got Illustrator, After Effects Beta, Lightroom, Media Encoder Beta, and Camera Raw. So a number of updates today. And actually, there have been updates like all week. Adobe is updating a lot of stuff recently. So this is going to be a shorter stream, of course. And what I've got here is I want to look at the generative AI stuff in terms of recolor, right? Being able to recolor content based on text prompts. But also there are a couple of other things that are new to this release. One thing is the ability to, they revamped the image tracing features inside of here. So we'll look at that. And also smart AI typography retyping, I think they call it. So we'll have a look at all that stuff. But let's start out with kind of the biggest feature, the one that they lead with, and that is actually generative recall. So I had a bit of an issue when I first went in and tried to find this. So I was like, oh, there must be a window, right? So window, and you know, we've got retype right here as a window, right? It's a panel, retype beta. There's my panel. Oh, it's got my old stuff in there. So we've got this panel here. How do I tell it no? Let's just close it. So yeah, that's a panel. So I was looking for it for generative color, recolor. Couldn't find it. It's actually underneath either the edit or the object menu here. It's not something you open through the window menu. It's not a real panel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this guy. So I got everything in one layer here, and I just grabbed this from Adobe stock. I just wanted a black and white image and also, you know, a color image that we could use. Of course, it's gonna be used on vectors, right? So if I go to edit, you go to edit colors, and inside of the edit colors menu, you'll find the third option down in this new version of Illustrator is generative recolor, which again is a beta feature. So it's not something that's finished yet, right? So if I click on this, it does open up a dialog, and we can move it around. So it behaves kind of like a panel, but you can't like really like dock it anywhere. And here we can put in our little prompt, right? So describe the color palette, mood, or theme you want to generate. And then down below here, we have sample prompts. So there's a couple sample prompts. I'm gonna just collapse that. So let's go ahead and add in a prompt here. Let's call this red Apocalyptic. Let's see if I can spell apocalyptic. Flames. Autumn. There we go. Just put in some words here and let's generate this. So yeah, the generate variations, this works just like, you know, if you go to Adobe Firefly on the web, you're able to generate based off of prompts like this to recolor. Cool. So some of these are okay. I wouldn't say that any of these are very apocalyptic looking. But there's some variations. Now I can take one like this, select and edit colors, right? So check that out. I could recolor based off of this sort of thing. So if I go to red, that's pretty good. And then I can go back to generative recolor, type in additional prompts if I want, but that's kind of what I was looking for there. So just a little tweak in the recolor window with my color wheel actually helps things out quite a bit. So let's take a look at this image. So this is another item from Adobe Stock. It's a little colorful image. So the other one was just black and white. This one actually has color attributed to the vectors. If we look in here, right, we've got a number of different layers and everything here. Let's select this guy. Actually, I'm not sure if I need to select it or not. So let's not select it. Let's clear all our selections and just see what happens. So if I go edit once again, edit colors. Oh, so yeah, you do need to select it. So generative recolor beta. And I'm curious as to why, because you may have noticed like my black trees in the foreground here all stayed black. Like they did not recolor for whatever reason. And they're not locked or anything. They are selected. So it's a little weird. That's a question I have about this workflow. So let's select the coffee and we'll do a edit colors and generative recolor once again. And here we go. So actually let's start with one of these sample prompts. Summer by the sea. Oh, pretty cool. Look at that. So something like this one, that one. Oh, see the prompts just like insert, right? They just insert the actual text in there. So let's give it another, this is something I did in that Express training that I just went through. We'll do rainy day in Colorado. Because that was the theme I used, was rainy day. Because it's been raining in Colorado every day for like, for a while. Generate. Well, that's not great. That doesn't say rainy day to me. Let's remove Colorado. Rainy day vibes. I should slap myself for using the word vibes. Hey, Kevin. How's it going? Yeah, Kevin, I don't know if you were here for it. I was just mentioning that I'm kind of jumping straight from hosting an Adobe Express professional development thingy right into this. So I'm kind of using the same bits and pieces that we use there, the same kind of theme. This one's pretty good. So here I notice we can add colors to guide the prompt. That's cool. Let's add in some rainy colors because it doesn't seem to be really getting, you know, that I need this. Yeah, through edge gain. Yep, that's right. Jen is here for the vibes. Rainy day vibes. Woo. All right, let's see what difference adding a color makes to this. Ah, there we go. Look at that. So in these ones, right? So this one, that one, This one here, it's actually gone through and it's added that color to my cup. But in this one, it's added to the background. I don't know which one says rainy day vibes more. Let's go ahead and add another color. Or a violet. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, this is more like 1980s vibes. But check this out. This is actually really cool that it's preserving like all of these items, right? Every one of them from the different prompts is still here. And if I click on them, oh, it doesn't update like the Photoshop beta does. Well, that's okay. That's pretty cool. So I wonder if we go back here to this guy. Let's make sure everything's selected. This is the first one we were doing. Oh, what happens when you try this on a gradient? Kevin asks. Oh, that's scary. I don't know. Oh man. Let's see here. Here's my gradient tool. Let's add a gradient. Let's collapse this guy. New layer. Oh, I need a... Joseph, you're not in Photoshop. It's funny, I've been using the new gradient stuff in Photoshop so much that it's kind of like, hey, you know, how's it going? So what do we have here? Oh, that's interesting. Why is this? Gradients. Foliage. Yes, please. And it's all green foliage. All right, so there's a gradient. And let's see what happens if you choose a gradient. I don't know. Hi, Reverb Mike. Hello, how are you? Yeah, Illustrator has gradients for sure, but the tricky thing is, you know, they work different from the Photoshop gradients. And I've been doing so much with Photoshop's gradients the past few days that I got like Photoshop stuck in my head. All right, so we got the gradient stuff selected. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Edit colors, generative recolor. And yeah, we'll just pick one of these presets here and see what happens. Dark blue. Ah, look at that! Kevin, there's your answer. It does work on gradients. That's killer. Huh. Awesome. I kind of expected that it wouldn't. And let's move layer 2 below layer 1 so it's actually the background, right? And then we can put in a prompt here. Fiery sky. Vibes. Generate. I don't know if vibes actually do anything. The term vibes. Fiery sky vibes. But yeah, it did a better job, I guess, huh? It's not really... Hey, is everything all right here? Well, it looks like it's all goofed up. It's not actually applying my changes when I make the suggestion anymore.
Tell me this wound is forever.
Ooh.
Deepness will
Oops, no.
prevail.
Maybe we should try it on this one instead.
Sustain me with this pain.
Add a gradient. Let's add... let's do a radial gradient. There we go. That's kind of an ugly gradient, but what are you gonna do, right? All right, and we'll select everything again. Edit colors, generative recolor. And let's just go with a sample, because I got a jet soon. I got things to do. I can't be playing with colors all day, come on. That's interesting that it's keeping the white. I kind of wonder, based on the trees and then like this white center to our gradient here, if it ignores black and white, right? Whoa. Don't use all caps. Yeah, I've got additional responsibilities. Summer by the sea. I don't want that. Let's do night sky. Vibes. See, I don't think vibes actually does anything. I'm just... yeah, that's pretty good. It looks like night sky vibes. Anyhow, cool. Oh yeah, I wanted to try out the other two pieces, right? So generative AI for recolor is like, you know, the #1 thing they're highlighting with this. But we've also got a revamped image trace and the retype beta. So I got this guy open up here. I already actually tried the retype beta on this. So let's have a look at it. Actually, maybe let's remove that. It's just a bitmap image, right? And I've got my Adobe stock image here. Let's bring that in. There we go. So, you know, we got some type here. Welcome, we are open. Please come in. So if I go to... there it is. So it's accessible as a quick action, which is pretty fun. Jenna mentions, don't think it works at all without vibes. Yeah. I just think it'd be funny to just like, you know, every time that you do a generative AI piece, you just like always include like certain terms where it's like, because like vibes doesn't really mean anything. And I'm sure the AI doesn't, it's like, I don't know what that is. Probably just ignores it every time. But then like, you know, you're doing it as like a presentation or something, or doing it for a class, and everybody's just like, oh, is that some kind of like super keyword, you know? Does that actually do something? And then you get other people to start typing vibes in it because they're like, well, I saw Joseph do it, so it worked out pretty good for him. All right, so we're gonna access this via quick action, but you can get to it, unlike the generative AI stuff for recolor, you can get it through the window menu as well. So if we go window, we go down, there it is, retype beta. So 2 different ways to get to it. And it works pretty cool. Enter retype. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. So yeah, so it goes in retypes. It was showing me when I was playing with it earlier. So here, retype beta, it basically highlights, it detects the text. And you can select each one individually to see what the font recommendations are. Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, for this guy here, please, chain printer regular, duper regular. And part of this is probably because it's such small type, you know, that it's not the best suggestions. But yeah, I mean, these are pretty close, you know. So this is a lot like what Adobe Capture does with typography, right? Which is fun. Because if you haven't heard me mention it before, I think Adobe Capture is like probably the best, the most useful, mobile application that Adobe has, at least for phones, right? You're talking Fresco and Photoshop and things like that. You can, arguments can be made, right? I love Fresco on the iPad, but I wouldn't use it on my phone. I think it's interesting that you can use it on the phone because it just seems like the wrong platform for that sort of thing. Oh, this is interesting. That looks like garbage. Like, why is it seeing it as like low-res fonts? Folk rough. Yeah, and then you can find more fonts. Oh, that brings up more right here. That's cool. I kind of figured it would go off to Adobe fonts. And yeah, Reverb Mic, you can look them up on Adobe fonts too. Yeah, it's just really too bad that I can't actually vibes. Oh, that's cool. So you can put in your own text instead of open. You can put in your own text. So we can put in vibes. Reverb Mike says, been using these fonts for decades. I could guess better. Yeah, and it is beta. So, All right, so that's a look at retype. Oh, shoot. So we're stuck in retype. Let's exit retype. There we go. And then it shows us some of our recent stuff here like it did before. So let's see how that new image trace works. And this can be accessed as well through quick actions here. So image trace, we've got tracing presets, or we can just click on it. I'm just gonna click on it, see what happens. It's supposed to be really smart, and tracing may proceed slowly with this large image. Yeah, I wanna continue, thanks. Okay, I'm not worried about it. Okay. All right, so the preset it chose was logo. Let's open up the image trace panel. And let's see here. Advanced. Oh, wow. Yeah, so apparently they redid this whole panel here. Oh, this is cool. If I remember right, we did not have, so I want to do sketch. We didn't have little previews before, right? Ah, that's fun. Look at that. So, tracing result, that's good. What is this little guy? Oh, you can save things as new presets. Cool. Yeah, I mean, image trace is not new, but apparently they've gone through and revamped a lot of this stuff. Let's do photo. Let's see what that does. Of course, I probably shouldn't be using such a complicated... It's okay. And I bet there are a lot... Like, if we expand this... I bet we can get a lot of paths. Let's get out of here. Let's expand it. And what do we have? Oh, yeah. Look at all those objects. Wow. We can just scroll forever here. Yeah, it does. I agree. I mean, this is the first time I'm even looking at this, but yeah, I know it's supposed to work a little better, but, and I usually always will deter my students from actually using this, just because, I'd rather have them do something focused, with like the pen tool and learn how to use that because it's so important rather than going in and, come on, man. I want to see what this looks like. I want to see everything. No? It's not going to show me everything. Well, we've got a lot of paths here. I want to see all the anchor points. Let me see them. Maybe I have to ungroup. I shouldn't have to ungroup. No, it's just... I wonder if it's just being very selective simply because it is a very big image. Let's grab something else. I think it's funny how lately these streams have been just me just like goofing off with like whatever the latest junk is. Oh, here's the graphic that I produced in Express as a demo for that PD I had earlier today for edge gain. Yeah, so this is the graphic we made. Let's go ahead, and it's a ping, so it's a bitmap image, right? So let's go ahead and do an image trace. And let's choose from, I bet the presets come up here, right? Yeah. So let's choose from the presets this time. Let's do logo again. You know, it's okay. How many colors? Let's take the colors down, right? 6 colors. Oh, look at that. Ugh. 3 colors. Ugh. 7 colors. Lucky 7. Let's go with that. Now, if I expand this one, right, it's just paths now. Unless it's doing something different. No, they're all just paths, just like before. Yeah, weird. I want to select, I want to see all my little guys. I don't know why it's not showing me. Anybody in the chat have any ideas what's going on with my direct selection tool here? Why can't I select like all the anchors? I want to see all the anchor points. I want to see how complex this thing is. But Adobe's like, no. You get new tools, but we take away old functionality. Oops. I don't know. Maybe it is a bug. Yeah, ungroup the thing. I mean, it's just paths. I should be able to... They have new default settings. Shoot, I need to wrap this up soon. Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be it. I don't know. I don't want to change my settings and then goof myself up because I'm presenting some Illustrator content tomorrow. And I don't want to completely destroy Illustrator's settings by making the wrong choice. And then I'm going to look this one up, though. Reverb Mike says they have new default settings, so let's check it out, right? But I can do that on my own time, not during the stream. All right, I think we should wrap this up. This was fun, little exploration of some of the new stuff in Illustrator, primarily the generative AI recolor based on prompts, but also the new image trace and retype. Cool. Well, I'm gonna jet. So thank you for joining Kevin and Jenna and Reverb Mike and anybody else who has popped in as we go through this. I know Adobe has been streaming all day as part of Adobe Max on the road in London. Which I think it's weird that they call it Adobe Max. They should call it something else, you know? They haven't listened to me for years. All right. Thank you, everyone. And I might be streaming tomorrow. I'm not sure. My new time, or we'll see. I'm gonna keep an eye and see when Adobe gets around to changing my official schedule. So maybe next week. Thanks all. Have a nice rainy day. Vibes.
Express these truths. All point toward the inevitable cold of the grave.